Welcome back to the Popcorn Hour. I'm Matt, and this is James, and today we're discussing Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. We have thoughts.
Yeah, a few.
But before that, what have you watched? Nothing?
Whole lot of nothing.
Okay. I finished
I
there.
did get 5 more movies.
What ones?
Let's see if I can remember. I got 7.
It's a good movie.
The Usual Suspects.
Okay.
I got Sin City.
Okay.
Then I got The Ringer.
Hmm.
And then I got,
That's a good movie.
ready for an even better one, Short Circuit.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty bad movie,
Mhm.
but it's enjoyable. Dad had told me at one point when he was like, "Oh, you should watch this." When I was like 8 or something, and then I was like, "Why?" He was like, "It's got Wally's dad." I don't know, because Johnny Five looks like Wally,
Yeah.
kind of.
Okay.
Johnny Five is still alive, but yeah, he was like, "You should watch it," and I did, and I liked it, and he was like, "Oh God," and I watched it on repeat for a little bit.
That's funny. All right. Well.
That one's on par with like Howard the Duck.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
it's not good, but like some people like it.
You can enjoy it if you just turn it off for background noise.
Yeah, if you turn off the volume, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
Which is what I think about this movie.
Yeah. Okay. I finished the Harry Potter series. Watched Frankenstein. I watched the Fantastic Beasts series.
Yeah.
Not a fan of those. Those were not good. I
Anyone?
don't know why. No, I didn't know why I liked the first one.
Really?
Yeah,
I remember we
we
went.
went and watched the first one. It was like around Thanksgiving time frame.
Yeah, and Mikey, we walked out of the theater. You went in the bathroom, and then Mikey, we're just standing there, and he goes, "Yeah, that movie sucked." And then I thought he was going to say it was good, and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh, you didn't like the movie?" And I was like, "No, I was," and he's like, copying me. I see, and I was like, "No, I thought your inflection made me think that it was going to be good," and he was like, "No,
Yeah,
you're just copying me." But yeah, we liked the movie. I remember that.
I hated
I didn't
it.
forget that, Mikey. I didn't forget it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't like either of them. They were really boring to me. Maybe it's just because I just watched all the Harry Potter ones, and those just gradually got better for the most part. But yeah, not a fan of those. And then watched Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yeah, so what'd you watch that on?
It's on Disney Plus.
When did that happen?
The last 2 weeks or so, something like that.
I feel like they waited way too long to put that on streaming. Because how long ago did it come out?
July. And I think within the last 2 to 3 weeks it went on Disney Plus. I don't remember the exact date. I just know that it was on there. So, yeah.
Well, how long? It's been out of theaters for 3 months
Yeah,
at this
something
point.
like that, yeah.
And it had only been available to rent and buy. Even though Thunderbolts came out like a month after on streaming. Is that right?
No. I feel like when it comes to Disney Plus, it takes a little bit longer for them to
Well,
get
yeah,
it.
Deadpool Wolverine.
That took forever.
Yeah. I feel like that
Yeah.
took like 6 months.
Maybe not that long. But it did take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the movie came out. I don't remember when it came out. It came out on.
February?
It came out in February?
Deadpool Wolverine?
Yeah.
I think so. Did it?
Because I'm pretty sure it came out on August on Disney Plus or November.
Why do I think it came out this year? No.
Deadpool
Thunderbolts
Wolverine?
came out in
May.
February.
It was at the end of. It was closer to the summer, I thought. Maybe March?
Oh, yeah. It was
Or
July
April.
26th.
Okay. Wow. Wait,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But Fantastic Four holds up.
Okay.
Still
I've heard
enjoyable.
people recently have been just kind of saying that it fell flat, which I think it fell a little flat. Like it just didn't linger.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't have a lasting impact.
No. It's
But-
a Marvel movie. But it's different than what we've had Marvel-wise in the past. So I think that's what makes it enjoyable and really stands out on its own. But this time around, Reed Richards did annoy me a lot. But overall, like everything was good. I like Johnny's character a lot more. No, the second time.
I feel like he didn't.
I liked him a lot.
He
first
was
time,
probably
but
my favorite character
yes. Yeah.
when we watched it. Because I've been wanting to watch it again to see how different it was from our viewing experience. Because we
Yeah.
probably had the best like See,
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite theatrical experiences when we went and watched that.
yeah. I'd say I noticed more mainly because when we watched it the first time, I felt like I wasn't paying too terribly much attention to the movie. It was
Mm.
just like the experience in general was like taking over. So when this time around, I was like, I don't remember that at all,
Hmm.
and I didn't remember Paul Walter Hauser having such a like bigger role. Maybe I just forgot it or wasn't paying attention, but yeah,
Hmm.
still a good movie though.
I remember, did it feel quick? Because I remember when we watched it, it felt like it was a little abrupt. Like the movie just felt so fast.
I think it was fine.
Okay.
I didn't think it like felt rushed or anything. I think it was a steady pace throughout the whole thing. So
Need to give it a rewatch.
yeah.
You
All right.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
First, all right. So Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, released this year, had a limited theatrical release starting on October 17th. Not really sure how long that lasted. And then a global Netflix release November 7th. So a little, about a week removed from it
Mm-hmm.
coming out. Directed by Guillermo del Toro. I think he wrote it and produced it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gothic drama, science fiction, horror. Runtime about 150 minutes, so pretty long. And I think on Netflix it said 2 hours and 32 minutes to be exact. Based on Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus by Mark Shelley, released in 1818. Frankenstein's an old book.
Yeah. That's such a good name, though. The Modern Prometheus.
Yeah. So, plot summary. Guillermo del Toro's long awaited passion project reimagines Mark Shelley's novel as a sweeping gothic tragedy about creation, love, and consequence. Victor Frankenstein, a brilliant yet tormented scientist, seeks to conquer death through forbidden science only to give life to a being he cannot love or control. The creature, cast out and yearning for connection, turns the mirror on his maker, told in three chapters: Prelude, Victor's Tale, and The Creature's Tale. The film reframes the story not as horror, but as a meditation on humanity's need to create, destroy, and be seen. First thoughts.
This was my most anticipated for probably the last quarter of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in with like high expectations, but also low expectations, just so I didn't have like really, really high standards for this. And then the initial opening kind of started, it threw me off a little bit. And then I, I did not like it. I did not like the movie. I gave it a 2.5 because I feel like if you fully just turn your brain off and then just watch it and don't really think about it, it's not bad. Like it's entertaining to watch, but if like the second you start like putting kind of thought into it, then I just dropped it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But right when it ended, I was like, that wasn't bad, uh, but as like a viewing it as like just an audience, I was like, it was bad. But the second I started to like think about it and like critique it, then I was like, okay, I hated this. This was bad.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Was very excited for this movie, and I think my expectations were a little different of how the story was going to go,
Me too.
and
But at the same time,
it
not.
was not anywhere near what I thought it was going to be. And to me, I felt it was incredibly boring. The story itself drug on way too long. There were parts of it that I thought made zero sense, and it just wasn't. I didn't care for it. Visually, I think it looks really good,
I do think like
and the character choices, the casting was good,
mhm.
and it worked, and the acting was great.
I think the worst part of this movie was Victor, not Oscar Isaac.
Just the
Oscar
character.
Isaac did good playing Victor, but how Victor was written, I did not like Victor.
Yeah. I didn't like the story whatsoever.
I didn't either. I thought that
I.
was so stupid. I thought that I liked the goose chase
Mhm.
aspect. I thought that was it made sense.
Mhm.
I mean, that they'd been like hunting each other, but like the reasons just didn't make sense.
No, not at all. Yeah, it was.
Everything was just convoluted. Like it was my biggest issue with the movie is it can't find a theme.
Mhm.
Like it's trying to go for the theme of like don't judge a book by its cover or whatever. But and then they're like he the monster is learning about or the creature is learning about peace and learning about like treating others fairly and then trying to be better. But and then he just like goes on killing sprees. Like then why did he kill all of those people on the boat?
That was a spoiler. We're not there yet.
I didn't say that. But it was just really convoluted.
Yeah, I give it a 2. And you said last week after you had watched it, you thought I would like it better. But based off of your initial ranking and mine, I liked it less than you
Yeah.
did. I gave it a 2 because visually it looks really good. The acting was really good. It's just the story itself and the way it was told was not what I expected, and I didn't care for it at all. So,
Hmm.
ready?
Yep.
All right. From now on, spoilers, even though he already gave you one.
Yeah. So I think Victor just was like there's no explanation for why he really hates the creature. But there is, but it's not expressed well. Like it's like, oh, he hates his creation. Okay, why? He's
I,
like he just hates him. Okay, why? Okay. Yep.
yeah, well, I feel like it's because he wasn't learning. But it, to
I
me,
could see the frustration, but and then all of a sudden just like fully like wanting to kill it and you're like, I'm never doing this again.
yeah,
That
Victor
just
did a complete 180.
yeah.
And there was no real explanation other than the fact that, like, the monster is not learning. All you can say is Victor. And, but the way Victor is going about teaching him is kind of like in an abusive manner.
Mm.
And it's not really working the way that the monster needs to learn. So then he's just like, you know what? Nope, I hate you. You're ugly. I need
Mm.
to get rid of you altogether. Why do you need to go that far?
Yeah. His first thought was, yeah, I hate this guy. I'm gonna blow up everything.
Yeah, it's no. There,
And then he says he's like say one other word, and then he's like Victor, and then he starts walking, and then he says Elizabeth,
yep,
and then he just goes, yeah, no.
yeah,
But it's I mean you could see like I could see an argument for like the creature and is supposed to be a reflection of Victor. Victor is impatient or whatever, but it just wasn't expressed well
no.
to the point where it's just like he's feeling this way because the plot says he's supposed to feel this way. Not any other reason. No, not like an actual reason. It's just like, oh, the story needs to go here. That's why he feels that because it has to end up with this. But then all of a sudden he's like, oh crap, I messed up. I need to save him. And then
And
he
then you,
regrets it. And then all of a sudden, when Victor or when the monster shows back up, he's like flipped again.
I hate when movies do those types of scenes where the person is running into the fire to try to
And then
save
the fire
somebody, and then the
blows up.
fire and it blows up, and they're like literally engulfed in the flame,
Hmm.
and then they come out unscathed, no burn marks, nothing. Clothes are fine. The only thing that happened to Victor was his leg was all jacked up, and I thought he was gonna like break his back against the what
Hmm. The
rock or whatever it was that was right there. But no, all he got was
his
some
leg
soot
shattered.
and his leg just
I
demolished.
thought the dumbest one is when Frankenstein or not Frank when the creature held the stick of dynamite
Mm,
and then his clothes didn't burn off. He didn't like really heal anything.
mm-mm.
That would he would have died. Like he got shot a few times and then he died, but he didn't die from this.
Yeah, I I thought the movie started off strong with kind of getting us into the action,
Yeah.
the ship, which is practical.
I thought that was a little weird. Threw me off at first. It felt really MCU ish to me.
I thought we were gonna get a Captain America type of find. It was the creature was gonna be found in ice and things
At
like
first,
that.
I thought that he was defending Victor.
Okay, yeah,
Like he was trying to save him.
yeah, and while he's destroying or going after the crew and trying to get to Victor, I thought it looked very animated. It like
Yeah.
it looked like a weird animated movie almost like a
Yeah.
animated movie that's trying to be realistic.
Also, at the very beginning, he has all this like damage. Like his fingers are like degloved, and then like he's got all these marks for no reason. Like we don't see why that happened, but then we see that he has this like weird healing factor.
Yes.
But then once we get to the end of the movie and we like caught up with the story, then all those are just gone.
Yes. Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting how long certain healing fact or how long it took the healing factor on certain parts. Like if you
Yeah.
get shot in the chest, then like it takes a little bit longer. But when we see like his hand degloved, you could see it regrowing. But we didn't see that before. It was kind of like, oh, after a while, it healed my chest and I was fine. Or like when he got shot in the eye. It felt like it was just kind of all over the
When he
place.
first cut, when he's getting his hair cut and he just grabs the razor,
Yes,
and then his hand's bleeding for like a good few minutes, and then Victor all of a sudden's like, wait, the wound is closed. Like that took a while,
yeah.
and then
I also
what do you think of the design
I
choice?
hated it.
Yeah,
Of the monster?
yeah,
I hated it.
I don't like it either.
I
I don't think that makes sense to me.
It doesn't for a number of different reasons. One, all I could think about was the movie Prometheus, which is kind of
Yeah.
ironic.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, those alien creatures, like that's
the
what
gray.
it looked like an alien.
It looked like that combined with the Somebody You Used to Know music
Yes,
video guy
yeah.
where he's got all the paint.
Yes.
That one
Also,
was from Dad. Dad said that.
the blood coming out of the creature when he gets hurt or shot or whatever, I felt like it didn't make sense of how much blood he had for how pale or blue
Yeah.
he looked. Like he looked dead. And which
Sometimes-
I mean, yes, he's dead. He come back to life, but like if he's gonna have that much blood, he should have some color.
I feel like also this part of his face, like around his eyes, looked really blue at some points. And at some points he was like fully gray. And then at other points he was like gray, like a sea greenish color. And then it was just weird.
Yeah, I wonder if it was going to be different because I guess Andrew Garfield was supposed to be the monster. He
That'd
was
been interesting.
cast, and they worked months to get the prosthetics for him, and then Andrew Garfield had to drop out of the film, and that's why they cast Jacob Elordi, and they only had a few weeks to get the prosthetics and stuff fitted for him.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and I also think that the monster looked too perfect and with very few imperfections.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of put like scars and stuff over his Jacob Elordi's body instead of making him look like he came from multiple different people.
Yeah, because his face just looks like his face with marks on it. But like the original James Well Frankenstein, it almost seems like because that design of Frankenstein is more like this is some guy's head, this is some guy's torso, this is some guy's arm, whatever, and each body part looks like it's from a different thing. But I feel like the issue with trying to like Thomas Elliot like the identity thief
yeah.
is it just looks like one face.
Yes.
And it just looks weird. And then I get the idea that they're going for like making it seem like different muscles were attached, but it also just doesn't really execute how I think that they were trying to do it.
Yeah.
Everything's a little too seamless. Although I did like the original, like half human body that they like electrocute and they bring
Hmm.
back to life. Thought that was a great start to whatever.
Yeah, I did enjoy the montage scene of him building
Hmm.
the creature, and I think it all looked really good, especially when he's like pulling the tendons of the hand and try to
Yeah, I
reconnect
liked
them. That was
I think the
looked
best
really
part of the
good.
movie was the science, like
Yes.
trying to actually, because the original one is just kind of like we take a dead guy, sew up some stuff,
Hmm.
attach some bolts to his neck, let him get struck by lightning, and this one was a lot more kind of
Sciencey.
in delving into like the spinal cord and
Hmm.
each muscular function.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't really does not make sense at all why he has like a healing factor.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that just doesn't
It didn't. It didn't make sense at all.
like why he was like super abled.
Yeah. The.
I could see strength because your brain. There's a thing about like power lifters is a lot of them have this thing where their brain doesn't really tell them to stop because once you try to exert a certain amount of force, your brain tells you to like don't push any further. Like if you had complete control over your muscles, if you fully contracted your quad
Mhm.
to its full capacity, it would snap your femur. So I think it makes sense that Frankenstein like is stronger because he doesn't have that in his brain to tell him to stop,
Mhm.
so he can just keep pushing.
Mm.
So the strength I kind of get, but not like him pushing a boat strength. Like the original one, I can kind of get where he's like picking up the guy and
Yeah.
stuff, but not like pushing a boat.
Yeah. That both those scenes where he's pushing the side of the boat to
Mm.
rock it, and then when he's pushing the boat at the end, bothered me so much because it looked like he was not exerting anything
Yeah.
to do it. Plus, they were on ice
So
in
he
the
would
middle of
have
the ocean.
pushed through.
Yes. So if he's pushing, they could have at least had it to where his feet kind of crack the ice a little bit,
Hmm.
and that would have made it seem a little bit more real. But just for him to just kind of push the boat, this huge ship.
Just a little bit, I think, would have made it better.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's why I really like the scene from Superman Returns when he catches the plane,
Uh-huh.
is because logistically, if you do that, you're going through the plane.
Yeah.
But I liked how it showed that the plane like rippled because of the force of stopping that quickly,
Hmm.
and he started to go through it. Obviously, it's still way far fetched. He would have just gone straight through, and the plane would have just crashed.
Yeah.
But the
But
fact
for
that they put a
that,
little bit of effort
yeah.
into being like, obviously, this is not what's gonna happen,
Yep.
but just that the difference between ordinary and like extraordinary is
Just a
that
little
little
extra.
extra.
Yeah. There's a lot that just
One thing I
bothered
really
me.
hated was Victor spieling out a story, which I feel like that is lazy-ish. It, like how they did that felt a little lazy, and then the monster just walking and goes, "Oh, my creator told you his story.
Let me tell
Let
you
me tell you
mine.
mine."
Yeah,
That was stupid.
it was, and it bothered me so much because you have at the
You're on this
beginning
hunt.
he's hunting him and he is destroying this captain's crew, and finally makes it onto the boat halfway through the movie
And then the
after we get
captain's
an
just gonna sit
hour and a
there.
half long story from Victor.
That was so boring.
Yes,
I liked Christoph Waltz.
yes, yeah,
I liked him at the end when he's like put my soul into it,
yeah,
and he's like, I can't do that, and then they duke it out, and then
yeah.
I like that,
I have a thought
especially
on
when he
that.
died. Like when he picks up his head and you see a kid, and I was like, that looks really good.
Yes, but how are you going to have this monster who's on a rampage and then he finally gets to where he needs to go and then he calms down
Yeah,
just to tell his side of the story?
yeah,
I feel like you could have easily had it to where there's one narrator for the
Mhm.
entire thing, whether that be Victor or the creature, and not split it up the way they did, just for the creature to go on this rampage, get to where he's going, calm down, and have a logical explanation as to what's happening and where he came from. And then, yeah, it was just, it irritated me to
Mhm.
no end. But um, Christoph Waltz's character, that scene where he ends up dying, falling to his death, things like that. I had to rewind, and then the
Hmm.
lightning. I had to rewind it 5 times because I just lost interest. I lost interest. I don't know why, but it would as it's happening, I end up just slowly looking at something else or doing something else to where
You're just-
after that whole
you're
scene
just
happens, I'm
like,
like, what just happened? And then I have to rewind it, and then it's the same thing happens, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
I hate when that happens.
yeah, it was really bad, and and then when I finally just like, all right, and I'm glued to the TV, I was very underwhelmed by everything because there was no. I would be fine. I would have actually.
Logistically, whoever built that, what even was it? Just a manor?
Yeah, I guess
What? Why the cylindrical tube? What's up with that?
for lightning.
Yeah, but that was dumb. Like,
Yeah,
why would anyone build that? And also, how was there no water?
in there, yeah.
Yeah, like there was
I think there
no,
was a little bit, but it
but
wasn't
there
like
wasn't like it was storming, but there wasn't
yeah.
like no rainwater in there
Well, I think there was a. It was encased on top, or no, it wasn't because
because
when they were up there,
it had the thing that just did this.
yeah, because when they were up there, they were soaked.
Hmm.
Uh, Heralder and Victor, they were soaked.
Hmm.
And but I do agree that the look of Christoph Waltz when after he falls and he lifts him up and is just caved in
Hmm.
looked really good. Um, but yeah, that scene just it took forever for me to get through.
And then, yeah, I actually probably the thing I hated the most was after the creature told his story. Then they're all of a sudden just like, he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgive you, and then he dies, and then yeah,
And then they all just let him walk off the boat.
yes, that irritated me too because
But also,
he
how does
just
he get
killed.
through them? Because he's like rampaging through, and then all of a sudden, like before you, it only seemed like there's like a 15 people crew, and then he's like, yeah, they're all dead, and then they open the door, and it's the boat looks like sardines, like they're all jam packed,
Yeah,
and
there
then
was
they're
a
all
lot
just
of
like,
them.
he's like, oh no, let them walk.
Yeah, how are you gonna let this monster walk? I can understand if it was out of fear,
Yeah,
not necessarily out of sympathy or respect.
but it almost was like
He
the
just killed.
captain was like, oh no, we misunderstood this guy.
Yeah,
Let him
after
go
you
through.
you let him kill.
6 of your
Yes.
people.
Yeah, at least 6.
Yeah.
I think he said
No, he,
6.
he said that he
He
killed
said
6 more. I
Yeah.
think he said after he got on the boat.
So, yeah, I it didn't make sense. And like I said, I can understand if it was out of fear that you let him go, but because you heard both sides of the story, you're just gonna let him go, even though he just killed a bunch of your men.
Hmm.
Why? It bothered me. It bothered me.
And then when after the creature leaves, after he survives, and he starts learning like how to speak and how to like live, he meets this old fella,
Mm-hmm.
and then this old fella kind of like teaches him right from wrong, stuff like that. And then he's learning all these. You're learning the themes of this movie with him, and then he fully just starts doing what the guy told him to not do.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, I also didn't understand how he learned how to read from a guy that's blind.
Also, yeah, that's weird. I also didn't like Elizabeth's character.
Oh yeah,
She saw him and was just like,
yeah. Mia Goth's
I,
character Elizabeth was
she just liked him for like no reason. She didn't like see anything in him initially. She was just like, she just liked him because the plot demanded it.
yeah. Well, she supposed to marry William, Victor's brother, and then she starts falling for Victor, and then the monster happens, and then she starts falling for the monster.
But Elizabeth just all of a sudden likes him, like just cause. And then when he's like, "I need you to make me another one," I was like, I really hope that they're not trying to somehow maybe get a sequel out of this, and then I hope that they're not going to try to fit the Bride of Frankenstein story into this.
Yeah, I thought that that's where we were going. We were gonna go into get a glimpse of the bride of
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstein, and then not fully see it through,
Mm-hmm.
but just to like tease it and then that be done with it. I wasn't really sure if they what they were trying to do with that. I'm glad they kind of nixed that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we will get a sequel. Who knows? I mean, I think Victor died, so
Yeah,
I don't think that's
I don't want a sequel with this.
no, no. Um, all right, we bashed this movie enough. Almost.
I have one more thing I want to bash it for.
Cinematography.
Cinematography. I did not like it at all. Uh, I hate this trend that we're kind of seeing this year. I didn't hate it in Superman because I didn't really utilize it the entire time. But I hate these like super close up oneers with like a 16 millimeter lens. So they're basically shooting like a fisheye as close as possible, but doing these one take scenes, and I just hate it.
Hmm.
I hate them.
Why?
I don't know why. It just visually, I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels kind of lazy because it's like you're shooting wide, so you see everything, and then you're just doing a oneer, so you're just kind of following along. It just feels kind of lazy. It feels like a lazy way to seem artistic.
Mm.
I just don't like it. I don't like the overuse of it in this
Okay.
movie.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I just felt lazy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now we've bashed this movie enough.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some things that we liked about it. I would say, for me, I love period pieces. I love
Uh-huh.
movies that are set in the 17, 1800s. I don't, just visually, I think it's entertaining for me.
Uh-huh.
The uh, old, you know, horse and carriage and the clothing and things like that, I really, really enjoy. I also find it interesting that there's always no sunlight in
Yeah.
these types of movies where like especially like the 1800s there's no sunlight ever. It's always gloomy,
Yep.
it's always just dark and rainy and things like that. Immediately comes to mind like um, the Robert Downey Jr.'s
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes movies.
Yeah, Guy
Same way.
Ritchie.
Yes, there's no sunlight, which I'm fine with. Like there doesn't necessarily need to be sunlight. There is a little sunlight in this
Actually,
movie, but
Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie doesn't like sun, I guess. Now thinking about it, everything is always silver skies. King
yeah,
Arthur,
yeah,
silver skies. The Gentleman,
mostly
it's
yeah.
mostly silver skies. Sherlock Holmes, Snatch, The Covenant is
Mm,
pretty like brown,
yeah.
like because they're in the desert.
Hmm.
Wow, I never realized that Guy Ritchie does not like the sun.
But I do enjoy these movies a lot. I don't know why. I think visually it looks really good.
Eh, And you haven't seen Nosferatu?
The new one,
Yeah.
no, not yet.
Okay, well
It's on Paramount.
you're like describing like the best like why that movie was like so amazing.
Hmm. I have been wanting to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it this week.
One
I
of my
don't know.
favorite looking period pieces. Edgar Wright, not Edgar Wright. Robert Edgers just
Hmm.
does really good
Yeah.
with that.
Okay.
Like he does such an interesting thing with the shadows.
Hmm.
He embraces the pure blackness of shadows, which is like what you're not supposed to do in
Hmm.
movies, but it just works. And he also, do you remember in the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game when it's all black and white, but once there's like a little bit of light, it's a little bit in color?
Hmm.
That's what they do.
Okay.
So it's all like it feels black and white at night, and it is. And then once there's like a candle light, only the stuff that is illuminated is like slightly in color.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. The cinematography in that movie is just awesome.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Um, Visually, this movie looked really good to me.
I like
I
the
like the
colors.
practical effect of the practicality of
Hmm.
the ship and how they built the whole ship out of it. I think that's always cool to do instead of kind of cheating and using
Yeah.
a set or VFX and things like that. feel like that just shows how much more you care. Like
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Christopher Nolan's work, because a lot of his stuff is practical. But yeah, the using like a building a real ship and using it is cool. Although some of the other sets were kind of wonky.
You should see the sets for Dune Messiah. They are insane. Denis Villeneuve is a pretty um, practical
Hmm.
guy, and the sets are like stadium size.
Hmm,
They're huge. So that'll
that's
be.
cool. Okay. All right. Well, what other stuff did you like?
I liked like directions that this movie almost went in. Uh like I liked Victor hating his creation. I feel like that's good.
Hmm.
How they did it, I didn't like, which ruined that kind of
Hmm.
plot point for me. Just how they did it, but I like Victor coming to hate his creation, and I do like the flip that Victor is actually the monster,
Hmm.
and uh, and that the creature isn't. Probably one of my biggest issues with the story of Frankenstein is that they're all called Frankenstein, which is iconic. But now there's this like misconception that Frankenstein is the creature.
Hmm.
But everyone's like, no, it's like, no, that's the creature. But you can't just say the creature because
Yeah, it
no.
doesn't
But
really
you
have
say
a name.
Frankenstein, what do you think of? You think of bolted
Yeah.
neck, like stitched
Yeah.
neck. You
It's
think of
all.
like the James Whale design.
Yeah. I do think I did like how it's always, or in this one it was always like creature. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't Frankenstein's monster. I don't think it was ever said.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer like the creature, but I think it would be nice to give the creature an actual name
Yeah,
of some kind.
I'm I,
Period
I'm
piece
I
like.
like calling him Frankenstein,
Hmm.
even though that's really wrong. And I have seen Guillermo del Toro that severely like pisses him off
Hmm.
is people calling the creature Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But I mean, technically, if it's since he called him son, I'm assuming his name is the only name he has is Frankenstein because he called him son,
Hmm.
meaning his last name is Frankenstein, but he doesn't have a first name, so he's
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the acting in this was done really well. I think this is a breakout role for Jacob
Jacob.
Elordi.
Yeah, I do think that this kind of separates him from those teen
Mm-hmm. Those teen romance movies.
and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
showing that
thinking.
he's doing a Matthew McConaughey,
Yeah,
or also what Leonardo DiCaprio did, you know. So yeah, I mean
yeah. I'm excited to see what else
he does.
he does.
He did really good, especially with the physicality
Mm-hmm.
and like his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
like only acting with his eyes for all of Victor's story basically,
Yeah,
because all he said was Victor, and then he's like having to sit there, and then
yeah. I for the most part, the movements of the creature I enjoyed. There were a couple parts where I thought looked weird. Um, but the way he's like almost learning how to use his hands and his walking and things like that, or standing, like there's parts where he's kind of like hunched,
mhm.
bent over a little bit. um, so I think the way Jacob Elordi executed that was done really really well.
One kind of like message that I thought would have really worked well for this is something that Denis Villeneuve kind of goes by. So obviously everyone knows Tarantino's the foot guy, um, but Denis the hand guy. He always shows people's hands
Okay.
because and there's a video of him talking about it. He says that hands are like raw truth. Like if you build something with your hands, that is something you did with your hands. They're very true. Every action that you have, like you do, like everything with your hands. So they're very just true about who a person is. Like even if you like look at them and you see calluses or scars or whatever, like that, it tells a story. And how the creature was like when he's like learning how to like uh like when he's first breaking out of the thing, like you can see his like raw strength like through his hands, or
Yeah.
like when he's learning how to read, you learn it like through his hands, and you can see like the raw truth of who he is.
Or when he's patting himself on the head,
Yeah.
or making the blind guy do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Or like when he first like meets the blind guy like puts out his hand to him,
Hmm.
and he's like scared because he dropped a glass
Hmm.
or whatever it was.
Yeah. What do you think about the score and the sound design?
I like the sound design. I like the sound design of his like how he sounded like a monster.
Hmm.
Because I mean that just kind of goes with the
Yeah, the roaring
yeah,
was really good.
like his animalistic side.
Hmm.
It reminded me a lot like of his design as the Wolverine movie
Hmm.
when we see him hide out in that cave. It's all I thought of every time he had the big like trench coat on. I was like, he
Okay.
just looks like Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine with the long beard and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Again, with like period piece movies, they always have this like classical, uh, stringy music
Hmm.
that I really enjoy, and I think it fits perfectly.
Yeah, I like the score.
And it was like this
It
kind of
was
almost like a ghostly
yeah, it was like
type
a
of sound.
noir
Yeah.
type of like almost myth
Mm-hmm.
to it.
Yes.
Because I love the caricature of Frankenstein. I thought that the score of the creature, and I thought that the score reflected that
Mm-hmm.
really well.
Yes.
But I liked like what they were trying to do was there,
Yeah.
but how they did it
Yeah.
was
The
just
execution fell a little flat for me, but yeah, it's like I get what they were trying to do, and I appreciate it. Just the the complete execution of the entire movie just was a little boring. Let's see. You said you like Christoph Waltz's character as a supporting
yeah.
cast member. That was I was surprised. I didn't know he was in the film, so I was surprised to see him there. Um, but I did like the way he was trying to pursue kind of like godhood through Victor and his endeavors of trying to deal with grief and kind of fix the past in his own way. It was really good. Yeah. Let's see. So let's talk about some behind the scenes stories. So Del Toro, he has dreamed of adapting Frankenstein for over 30 years. It's crazy. I want to know the
I think
why it took
that's.
so long to get this.
I think he did. I think he tried to do a version of this in Kronos.
That yes, I thought Jacob Elordi's look reminded me a lot of the Alchemist in
Kronos.
Kronos.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Um, but he called the story of Frankenstein the story that made him who he is. So that was interesting. The film's structure mirrors the novel's nested storytelling, shifting perspectives between Victor and his creation. Practical effects dominate, prosthetics, real sets, and hand built miniatures maintain tactile realism. So, like I said, visually, I think most of it looked really, really good. I was interested to find this out, but even though it's a Netflix production, much of the film was shot for IMAX and 70 millimeter projection to preserve its grandeur. I don't. Do you know like what like the difference between shooting a Netflix production and just like a theater actual like blockbuster type of production?
Not like
No.
specifically, but they're Netflix is a little more controlling of like because I know they don't like to do theatrical stuff. That's their whole shtick. They're just kind of like, but now they're kind of opening.
Yeah, they are kind of. I could definitely see with some of the stuff
But
that they're doing.
they're more controlling of their distribution and less on the production. That's why like David Fincher, and then they all have these like deals with Netflix because Netflix is a big producer, and so they can sign on with them so they can do these passion projects. Like The Killer was a passion project for David Fincher, and so they can do these passion projects, and Netflix is not gonna hold them to it. That's why there's so many of these like Netflix movies, is because people can kind of get their foot in the door, and then Netflix won't be like, they're not like too on the beat on like
Oh,
what they
okay.
have to do. They're just more controlled about their distribution.
Okay. All right. So the creature's scars are patterned like constellations. It's a tribute to the idea of humans as cosmic patchworks. So that makes it a little bit easier to kind of digest the
Mm.
look of Jacob Elordi. Um, I think mostly given the fact that like he wasn't the original choice, it was Andrew Garfield, and then only having weeks to put together something for him. I think it the I'm pretty sure the design had to evolve for
Because
Jacob
Jacob
Elordi's
Elordi
build.
is tall.
He's 6'5". I saw that the other
Yeah,
day.
he is
He's six
tall.
five. Yeah, he looked really tall, and that was another thing. When if you see at the end when the creature is sitting uh, at bedside to Victor, they made him look so much larger, not just taller, but like larger,
And like
wide,
wide.
yeah, than what Victor was, which I thought was a nice touch to help with the what am I trying to say? The look of the creature, I guess. Yeah, but then when he walks out, it kind of dissipates when he's walking through the crew. So, um, Del Toro kept Mary Shelley's first edition by his desk during shooting. It's kind of like an inspiration to do right by this book. To me, it didn't do that.
I want to watch the Robert De Niro Frankenstein and then read the book. Because apparently that one is not good, but it is the closest aligned to the book.
I did see. I wish I would have saved it, but I did see. It was a list of every Frankenstein movie.
In the original James Whale one, they switched Henry and Victor's name. That was weird.
Yes, but the list was the ranked by the most accurate to the book. Surprisingly, the first one is I Frankenstein, based off of that list. And I know you don't like that movie.
What?
Yeah, this one is 5, ranked 5th.
Are we talking about the same I Frankenstein?
Yes, yeah.
Are you sure?
With
Aaron
yes,
Eckhart?
yes,
Are you sure?
yeah. You know when I look at that poster for I Frankenstein, I think it's what's his face, Magneto from
Michael Fassbender?
yes.
I did for a while. I thought he was Michael Fassbender.
That's
There's
what I thought
another
too.
movie. It's called. This is such a niche pull. If anyone knows this, I will be surprised. It's called Mr. Brooks. It's not a good movie. It's not like a cool niche pull. It's kind of like a. How'd you find that on Tubi? Found it at a Redbox actually, but it's
Almost the same thing.
it had girl that played Caitlin from the CW Flash. She plays uh what's his name? He's in Yellowstone.
Danielle Panabaker.
Nope.
No, but
He's-
that's the actress.
Oh, he's in Yellowstone. The main guy.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Kevin Costner. He's like a serial killer, and then he takes on this like apprentice, and then for some reason, I always thought it was Michael Keaton. I always had remembered it was Michael Keaton. I was like, that is Michael Keaton. And then when I was like, I randomly thought about this. I was like, I have to find out what movie this was. It wasn't Michael Keaton.
Interesting. All right. Del Toro's spin on this movie, when compared to others, while the 1931 and Hammer versions emphasized horror, Del Toro turns the tale into a requiem, a story about parenthood, guilt, and the loneliness of genius. His Frankenstein is less about a monster terrorizing a village and more about a son asking his father, "Why did you make me?" Very powerful.
I like it's good intentions, good messaging. I just didn't think the execution was there.
Yeah, I agree.
That is one thing. That is one aspect that I do like much more than the James Whale version. Because the James Whale version, it's almost like he accidentally is doing all these horrendous things, and he doesn't know why he is who he is. He just is like lost,
Hmm.
and then keeps just messing up, and then everyone just hates him more and is scared of him
Hmm.
a lot more. But
Yeah, I
I
did.
just think that was weird. But
I did like how they how they kept the creature out of like towns and stuff like that to prevent him from,
I did
causing destruction in a way
I
that it
did think
normally
that
would
that
see.
felt a little off. It felt to me almost like this is so random why, but in God of War,
Hmm.
when you're in Midgard, there's no people anywhere, and it just
Hmm.
felt weird. You know how like that just doesn't. It just feels weird that you're just so alienated.
Hmm.
So I thought that was weird that we never see him like go into a town. Like he's gonna pass a few towns, especially if he's hunting down Victor.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, the one time that we see him like around people is at that party.
yeah. But even then, he's not. He's still secluded.
Hmm.
So,
He sees everyone for like 5 seconds,
hmm,
and then that's it.
yeah. All right. Do you have anything else?
Mm, no, I thought the like editing of everything, like I mean, it was just the pacing. All the sequences were fine. I mean, just the pacing I thought was a little inconsistent.
Mm,
But yeah, I liked the Foley. Foley was good.
yeah. I want to say we are. Let me find it. Let me pull it up. We are in the minority
Yeah, we are.
on Letterboxd. So let's go through. So 1,000 people gave it half a star. 2.7 or almost 3,000 people gave it 1 star.
3,000.
3,000 1.5.
15 gave it 2.
Yeah. So
That's where we are.
yeah, that's where we're at.
24.
2.5.
72 is a 3.
3. And then this is where it kind of jumps.
114 gave it 3.5.
1,000.
200.
That's 1,000, by the way.
Yeah. 223. 224,000. 4 stars. 121,000 at 4.5. 157 at 5.
Yeah. So we are in the minority group of what we thought about this film. I did read some of the reviews on Letterboxd. Um,
Some of them are weird. How to make Jacob Elordi in my basement tutorial.
yeah, yeah, that was weird. I did see that one. Um, yeah,
I actually, one thing I did like is the hyperfixation on Victor embracing, like, wanting death so badly. And then I thought that would have made sense for the creature, like, wanting death so badly and Victor wanting to stay alive or
hmm,
something. I don't know. They were doing this weird thing where Victor was, like, obsessed about death, but then the creature was also wanting to just die.
hmm.
So it was like they're going along the same path. I thought it would be better if it was flipped to not how
Uh,
extreme as it was, but flipped, and then they like flip back to accept that they need to like embrace life.
yeah. Given the fact that the creature has a healing factor, I
Hmm.
think it would have been a little bit more impactful and more enjoyable if they gave him a more so idea that yes, he wants to live, but he just destroys everything. Not necessarily just like hurting people and like
Hmm.
just do, but in the sense that nobody will love him because it almost wanted to be a love story
Hmm.
and it just didn't. It kind of went to the edge, but it didn't really jump. And so maybe if they would have just had it to where towards the end the creature wants so badly to die
Hmm.
instead of just having him want to live so badly
Hmm.
and be human so badly. So I think that probably would have made it a little bit better for me.
I also don't really think it makes sense why he's immortal.
Yeah, there was no explanation as to why the lightning just made him.
Immortal.
Yeah, or maybe it was Victor. The way Victor
What's
put
the
something together in a way
wait?
that.
What's the other one? What's the one where like you're because there's immortal and then there's like where you can't where you'll live forever until like I don't know if you get stabbed or something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But he was definitely not that because he had a healing factor.
Yeah,
It was weird.
but
I don't know.
yeah,
Well, I can understand why some people like this movie.
yeah. I do think fully just turning your brain off and then just watching.
Yeah.
Then it's entertaining. You're like, okay, that was something. I think if you did that, 3 stars.
Yeah, I think just for me, the story itself wasn't anything exciting. It was for me it was a little too boring for me to enjoy it. Like I said, there was multiple times where I had to like rewind it because I stopped paying attention. But like I said, I can understand why some people like this movie. And if you haven't watched it yet and you're still here for some reason, go watch it and let us know what you think because I want to know what other people think about this movie that actually like it
Mm-hmm.
and what we missed, maybe,
Yeah,
or maybe what we didn't understand.
I like Kronos more
Yeah, I did
for
too.
for Del Toro,
Yeah, yeah,
but I think I do like the original
I did too.
a lot more.
You don't like
I
I
do like,
Frankenstein?
huh?
You don't like I Frankenstein? What's the other one?
Young Frankenstein.
No, the one with Daniel Radcliffe.
The yeah, I know you're talking about the
Victor Frankenstein or
yeah,
something like
yes,
that. Is it
yes,
Victor
yeah.
Frankenstein? Okay, yeah. I think I enjoyed that one a little bit more.
Hmm.
It's not a great movie.
I do think Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride will be better.
Oh, we'll see. After this one, I'm not. I'm gonna keep my
Yeah, I should
expectations
probably
neutral.
yeah, because the 2 movies that I had the highest expectations for this year were like
What's the other one?
Mickey 17.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Same thing though. Like with that, I was like I like Bong Joon Ho. He's got some great movies.
Uh-huh.
Like I love Memories of Murder. But and Snowpiercer. Those 2 are probably my favorite 2. I need to like actually finish Parasite.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are there any other movies this year that you want to watch?
for the rest of the year, there's nothing that's like I'm not like super excited for. But the start of next year, probably Bone Temple is my next.
Okay. Next
anticipated.
year's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
I think.
But I mean, Mickey 17. I thought the first act was perfect
Mm-hmm.
for what they were doing. Second act started to fall off, and the third act just completely disconnected to me.
Mm.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's our review on Frankenstein.
You can see all of our social media stuff on the top of the description, and you can join us for Friday's episode of Movie News and next Tuesday's episode, if you want to say that.
I believe that's The Running Man.
Okay. But yeah. You see, I can make life